This
You
conference
can.
will now be recorded.
Right.
Yeah.
So basically, we will take interview-related question, which is important in interview, or
Okay.
when you add some experience related to when you add experience in Python. So that time you should know something about Python, especially object-oriented, because in interview they will ask more about object-oriented concept. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see it.
This conference will now be recorded.
So let's start with some examples and practical stuff.
Okay.
Some conceptual stuff also I will try to complete here. Mm, so it should be good for you also.
Okay.
First of all, I just want to tell you object-oriented programming. Why we need to go with object-oriented programming as an interview level. I'm going with this example because procedural-oriented programming doing well, and they have some program, and that program is based on file, and in that file, one program we have, and they have function f1, f2, f3, like these functions they have, and they are calling these functions. Before these paradigm, they have concept called um, subroutine by means batch programming. Batch programming means in which they will write directly statements, statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, like that they will write statements directly. So the problem with this statement is basically they want to write multiple statement, one statement multiple times, so they cannot reduce the code. So with the help of the function, what they did, how they achieve through function, they can call this function again and again, how many times they want, f1 they can call it, and the whole bunch of code they no need to repeat it, just need to declare one side and need to call once, that's it. So they have, this is the feature of object procedural oriented programming language. So Python is basically both for procedural oriented programming and object oriented. If you want to follow object oriented rule, you can follow it, it's not compulsory, remember. And procedural object oriented programming, you can follow it or you can skip it, procedural also. So basically Python cover both things, and the main purpose of object oriented is what they have classes and objects. Remember, they have class and object concept. What do you mean by these things and what is the benefit of class and objects? I'll tell you. The first benefit of classes and object is basically class and object secure its member. Remember, what is class? Basically, class is a set of members, right? So it secures a members. Classes and objects, it will secure the members. It will follow some rules. Follow some rules, follow standards, you can say standards. You need, if you want to access the members of a class, you need to use object name, then method name whatever you have, and then your arguments, how many arguments you are passing. So this is the syntax when you want to call a method from that class. So this is, you need to follow the standard. Now another basic advantage is what, if another language, it is one type of data type. Remember, data type, what type of data if they have, user defined data type. If you want to define our own user defined data type, we can do through classes and objects. Remember, now example, in C language we will write like this. Okay, like this we will write in C language. So here integer is basically what, it is basically data type, right? And here this is variable, and this variable, this is value, and here I am storing the value. Now this is simple example in C and Java and C++ and other languages. Same thing here, we have class, and through that class you can create your own type. Means in this int in data type, we only store integer. Remember, we only store integer because it stores only the sequence of numbers. It cannot store, if you declare a as integer, so you cannot store in this abc. Remember, in C language, just I want to tell you. So the problem is what, whatever you declare, you need to follow that thing. So that means you are define, and they already defined some data type, and you need to follow their rule, whatever they written. So same thing here, If we want to declare our own type, you can declare our own type using variable or object name. Your A is your object name and your data type. Your data type is basically your class, data type class, and your arguments. If you have arguments, you can specify arguments. So this will says this argument of this type. Remember, this argument of this type. What is this? This is basically your class. And here what I'm doing, I'm trying to call the constructor and initialize an object, and whatever the memory allocated, it will store into this variable. It's basically object. So remember, this is very important. We should know classes and object is also one type of user defined data type. Why I'm saying these things? Because of this, we only store those member which is available in this class. ABC. So remember, the method name, whatever we specify method, it should be available in this class. Then only it is possible. That means what? Here, whatever we specify the value, see here I'm specifying value, it should available in this type. Here int is not int not declared with a string. If I am storing with a string, it will give me an error, right? Same thing here. If I try to do something xyz and some value, and if I not declare this xyz, it should give me an error. Why? Because this xyz is not available with this object. So what is different between predefined and user defined data type? Remember, in predefined data type, we no need to follow the dot operator rule. Whereas here in user defined data type, you need to declare it and you need to follow dot operator and its member. So with the help of dot, you can fetch their members. So a method name xyz is a member of data type class, remember. So that's why we need to understand what is different between predefined data type and user defined data type. So here we have some specific range, right? If you remember, we have some range minus 32,768 to plus 32,767. This is the range basically of normal integer. There are three types of integer: small, medium, and large. So this is normal, you can say medium level integer, and this is the range of that integer. So same thing here, we have some range, we specify some definition inside this class, and that definition and every member is available through dot operator. Whereas here we directly access its value, we specify this value. So remember, this is called predefined data type and this is user defined data type. So somebody says, what is class? You can say it is user defined data type. This is also correct answer. It is a set of members. It is also correct answer. It is a specification, or you can say standard, to define some objects. This is also correct answer. Another definition of a class is what basically we can secure member. Remember, we can secure its member. If we declare any class, suppose if I define any class def or class abc, so I can write whatever here. If I specify here 10, so that means this member is secure, and if you want to access this member, you need to follow the rule a and equal to abc, and some if they have constructor, then this a dot a equal to whatever you want to do. So when I write print and I'll display like this, so I'll get 10, right? So this is what in by these things. Basically, I'm securing its member. It can be a variable, or you can say data. Now this is data instance variable, you can say data, or property you also can say, and member. Method can be anyone, f1, f2, f3, whatever you want to write, and then you can write it. Yes, like this. So this is basically what I want to tell you. So there are few definitions you need to tell in the interview, because you never need to write a code. Remember, as in senior level, we never need to write a code. but we should know what we need to tell. And you can say it is a characteristics. Another definition is what? It is a characteristics of object-oriented programming language. Another definition is what? For anything, we can say this is a template. Template of object is called class. Suppose I want to say you I want to create a bike, so I'll write bike, and then here I specify all things. So this is bike. I can create an object like pulsar equal to bike, and then I specify color as red and something value, these values. So this is what I'm creating an object with this template. So whatever I have here in this definition, def f1, so I can call these definitions here using pulsar object dot f1. So I can call it, no problem. So what do you mean by these things? I'm creating here definition or template. You can say template or structure which we will follow here. We will fill these information through this object. Remember. So this is very skeleton. You can say body skeleton, and these all things it should be available with object. That object should be accessible with this skeleton. So what is class? Class is also known as template. So if you want to create your own template, you can create through this method. Now this is one definition. Now with the help of this we can create multiple classes, and that classes can be done through inheritance concept. There is concept called inheritance. In that we will create one class a triple a, and then here I'll write some definition, and then class B, and here I'll specify AAA. So what in by this thing? That means I'm trying to access its member in B. So this is inheriting. This is called parent class. You can say this is parent, and here you need to connect with this method, and this is called child one. So it can have multiple child two, and again it will join with parent. So this is your part. So remember, so inheritance also possible with class. What is class? It is a set of template or set of members. That members is accessible with another class, and this is also possible. The purpose of this, the benefit of this thing is what is the benefit of class? Because of this class we can categorize our members and methods, members, variables, or methods in particular order, and each and everything we will separately divide into some parts. So and again we reutilize this through inheritance concept. Remember. So this is the definition we need to know. And another thing is what with about the class is very important. Basically class called data abstraction concept. They will ask you this question if they are going with object oriented programming. If you return, or if you say yes I know object oriented, or if your interview is more than 2+ years of experience, if you are mentioning, so we should know what is data abstraction. Data abstraction means abstracting the data information you are abstracting from that object, from that whole bunch of class. So suppose you have one class, and that class is ABC, or you can say parent class. Parent class has some definition, suppose def f1, and then some code they written here, def f2, and some code they written here. Suppose now what happened, what I need to do, basically f3. So what is data abstraction? Data abstraction means whatever you are fetching the data from that set of members, you are fetching particular data, that is called data abstraction. Remember. So if you have some members here, suppose a equal to 10, b equal to 20, c equal to 30, something you write like this. Okay, now what happens, now if you create an object, suppose parent object, you created here, and you just call that methods using parent object, and here in bracket close, with the help of this parent object, see here you have a set of members is available for you. Just press dot and you will get set of members. So what you can access from this dot operator, you can access f1, f2, f3 methods inside that class, or you can access data, or you can say property, or variable, or instance variable, you can say. So through that you can access these six members, remember. So these all six members is available for this object. Now if you specify a equal to 20, so that means it is this object. Inside that object, whatever we create this template, this whole template, in that we store a equal to 20. And now if I try with object 2, suppose if I write here object 2 equal to parent and then open bracket, and using this object 2 dot, if I try to display this value a, so what I will get, can you help me guys, can you help me what output I'll get here?
If you say you'll get 10.
Yeah, Jayesh, is this make sense?
10 आएगा सर उसमें?
Right, this is output will you will get 10 as. Why? Because you're not disturbing this object, remember. And if you try to do these things here like parent, here you write parent object dot a, and now if you try to print the value of a, then what you will get here, here you will get 10. I agree with these things. Now here what you will get, any suggestion, hint, Jayesh? You can, Jagdish, you can. No problem.
Yeah, you will get 20 here because you are calling a parent object dot a.
Right. So remember, each object has separate memory. Each object has separate memory. What we understand from this example, each object we have separate memory, and in that object whatever members we have, it will store in separately memory. And so remember, when we change in another one object, we can access another object with without any change. So this is the difference we need to know about that. So this is called data abstraction. What do you mean by data abstraction? Like again, we have set of members here, two types of member. What, how many types? Two types: data members and method members. Method also one type of member. So there are different types of members we have. Sometimes we have generators, iterators, decorators, and some indexers. Many things are there, but just describe short and simple. We have two types of member in class. One is data member and another is method, or you can say method member. So in data member we have list of three variables, or you can say three data members we have here. In that I'm fetching particular member, I'm fetching particular member. That means this is called abstraction. From this object I am fetching particular member. That is called data abstraction. I am abstracting data what I required. That means I'm abstracting my data what actually I need, what I required. So that is called data abstraction. Remember guys, this is very important definition. They will ask you 100% in interview. If they are intending to talk with you about object oriented, they definitely ask you. Otherwise, if you they not ask, you need to tell them. Then they will understand the value of how much you know in object oriented programming. Because of object oriented programming, you can pass easily interview also. And each and everything is same for object oriented, whether you work with Java, C++, because this is a standard. And that standard, Python also following same standards, Java also following same standards. Each and everyone, they are following same standard. Now in data abstraction we are fetching particular member. That is called data abstraction. Now another thing is what we have concept called data encapsulation. What do we mean by these things? Data encapsulation, guys. If you know a little bit, tell me. I will enhance your knowledge. Jay, Jagdish?
No, I heard about that, but I forgot what to.
No. Jesh, you know?
नहीं सर एग्जैक्टली नहीं पता है encapsulation.
Okay. No problem. Data encapsulation, this word, remember, encapsulation means capsule. And encapsule is a combination of secure plus capsule. Remember, I'll give you good definition. So encapsulation, data encapsulation means securing capsule, means boundaries. Capsule means boundary. If you see a capsule image, or if you see capsule in your head, if you keep your in hand, you'll understand what is capsule. Capsule basically a boundary of medicine. So it will protect the medicine with bacteria. Remember, it will protect the medicine with bacteria. So that's why they cover this thing into plastic or some another chemistry. But remember, encapsulation comes from capsule, and capsules is basically securing data. Now here in this example, if we see, this is very important. If we see, we have this set of members. Can I access these members directly using print A? Is this possible? Can I access like this, print A?
No, you can't because you have to declare the.
Right. So this is called encapsulation. Remember, I'm securing my members with particular boundary. Remember, this is my boundary. This is called my boundary. And in this boundary, I'm securing my members. These members can be anything, but these members I'm securing. This is called data encapsulation. The word is very big and answer is very small. So you can say data encapsulation means securing our data. This is our data. We are securing the data. So that is called data encapsulation. Okay. Now, another thing is what we have here, basically called polymorphism. And the word is very big, but answer is very small. Remember, polymorphism. Poly means many. Remember, many. Morphism means forms. So, example, I am Mujahid. Mujahid basically husband, and is basically a trainer. He is basically a freelancer. He is working as an employer. He is working as a student. He is working as a brother. These are the definition of Mujahid. So this is called polymorphism. Mujahid is basically these all things. So that is called polymorphism. Another example in practical level, in IT level, what we have, suppose I'll give you example, like if you want to store s1 equal to double quotation and some value, I'm storing abc plus xyz, right? So what do I mean by these things? I'm concatenating this value with this value, right? So this is called concatenation. Whereas here a equal to 10, b equal to 20, and c equal to b equal to 20, and c equal to a plus b, right? So here I'm adding this value. So this is called addition, right? And this is called concatenation. So what is, how it will be done through plus operator. So plus is basically what? Plus is our polymorphism. This is called polymorphism. Plus is polymorphism because plus can use for multiple purpose. It can use for arithmetic addition, or it can use for joining two strings. This is called polymorphism. So Mujahid can work with as a trainer, freelancer, employer, and researcher, and a brother or a student, or anything. So this is definition of polymorphism. What in by polymorphism? Many forms for particular object or anything. So this is called polymorphism. Remember. So what we understand, this I will revise it. which is very, very important for interview perspective. So we understand classes and members, objects. It is secure members, secure member we secure this member through called concept data encapsulation, right? The word data encapsulation you should remember, and how this word comes from medicine, and that words come from medicine because capsule also doing same thing. It is protecting bacteria, protecting medicine with bacteria. So bacteria will not corrupt that medicine. So same thing here, data encapsulation means protecting our data. So securing and its member through class is possible one. Okay. Before that, what they are doing is structure, union. These are the traditional way. We never need to know about these things. Remember, we need to know how we secure through class. So because of this reason, class is very, very important. So in object-oriented programming language, some of the features are there, some characteristics are there. One characteristic basically class and object. Another is called inheritance. Inheritance. Another one is data encapsulation. Another one is data abstraction. Next one is polymorphism. These are the characteristics of object-oriented programming. If you want to follow object-oriented paradigm, means if you want to follow that methodology, you need to follow these all things. This is called object-oriented programming. So this is the very, very important. Now, some people they will ask tricky question. In my time when I'm in college time, they ask me one question. So it's very easy if you know the definition of both. They are asking me what is different between encapsulation and abstraction. So guys, from your end, I need to know now. Now it's very easy. Tell me what is different between encapsulation and yes. Tell me what is encapsulation. What is different between encapsulation and abstraction? Jagdish. Little bit in. What is encapsulation? Tell me what in by encapsulation? Okay, what is abstraction? No issue. Abstraction. Abstract.
You'll extract the members. You call the members of the class.
Yes. And data abstraction means only data abstracting, not method. So data abstraction means abstracting data whatever we require. Encapsulation means securing our data from outside the world. From outside the world, if you want to secure, we can secure through data encapsulation. And how it can be done? Through classes. Through class is possible. Remember, data encapsulation is only possible through class. So if you know class, so you can easily create an object and you can easily understand what is data encapsulation, data abstraction, and polymorphism, each and inheritance. Now just we need to know what is different between normal class and how we join this class through inheritance. Now what is how you can tell definition of class inheritance? Remember, in interview, whenever you are talking, you need to give precise answer, no more answer or no less answer, only precise, short and sweet answer. So if you are telling about inheritance, how you will talk with about inheritance? Just give me some hint.
Inherit the main class members.
Inherit the main class, right? Remember, this is correct answer. I'm not saying it's wrong, but just want to make some masala. You can say masala basically. In class A, if we create class A and there is some members, right? Suppose F1, F2, and F3, these are the members are there, right? And now if you want to create another class without creating again and again F2 and F3, remember F2 and F3 I don't want to create. Maybe this code is 1000 lines and this code maybe 1500 lines, 2000 lines. So again I don't want to create these all methods. So we can use inheritance concept, which is called reusability concept. Reusability. Reusability means you can reuse your code, whatever you return in one time, and using inheritance. And this is called inheritance. Remember. So that means what? I'm inheriting B with A. A is inherited with B. Remember. So what do I mean by these things? So here I can call def F4 and then bracket close, and then here I'll write print F4 F4, and then I can call F2 directly, print close. So what would be the output if I am trying to call B object equal to B open close bracket and then B dot F4? Then what would be the output? First, it will display this message, right? Display this message. Then again, it will jump to here. Remember, if you are going with inheritance, you no need to create an object. So in an interview, they will ask you one question sometime: how we can access its member? How we can access its member? As a beginners, they will ask you this question, but it's a very basic question. Remember, we can access the members of a class using two ways: either using object, here I'm creating object, or using inheritance. We can use inheritance or object. So there are two things are there. One, we can create an object like this in this line number 21. I'm creating an object, or else you can inherit that class. If you inherit indirectly, you can call that method. Like what we can say, this is a parent, father, and this is the son. Son can take money from his father pocket directly. Why? Because he is the son of that father, right? So this is very important. So remember, we need to understand how we can access its member using two ways: either inheritance or using object. What is inheritance concept? Inheritance, just I will revise, Jesh. Just I will revise. Reusability concept is called inheritance. How we can use in practically, we can use with these methods: open close brackets. So we can create open close brackets and we can use inheritances. Now this is one example. And data encapsulation abstraction. What is different between both? Encapsulation secure data. Abstraction fetch particular data. Remember, it will secure data, whereas here it will fetch only which we require. Fetch data only which we require, not all things. Remember, which is called data abstraction. Now another thing is called polymorphism. In that, many forms. You need to understand only many forms. Like one person have multiple role in his life. So same thing is called polymorphism. Example, plus. Plus operator can use for concatenation or it can use for addition. Both is possible. So plus is used for both two things. So this is called polymorphism concept. Okay, getting my points? Any doubt? Any questions? Jayesh, Jagdish?
No.
Okay. So let me go ahead about other stuff also, which is very important. So today what we understand, all type of interview question we understand basically. In only these questions they will ask in interview. Remember, Now they will ask you some little bit tricky question. If you add more than 3+ experience in Python, so they will ask you more detail about polymorphism. What is polymorphism and many things inside polymorphism. So let me cover this polymorphism first. So in polymorphism is basically, what do you mean by polymorphism? Many forms. For one thing, many forms we have, which is called polymorphism. Example, we see plus for concatenation, plus for addition. Both is possible with plus. So with one plus, we can do many things. Okay. So this is called polymorphism. But there are two types of polymorphism. Remember, there are two types of polymorphism. One polymorphism is called runtime polymorphism, and another is called compile time polymorphism. If they are asking more question related to interview, if they are asking you many things, so remember you need to give them answer in this way. Okay. So what are the types of polymorphism? There are two types of polymorphism. One is a compile time polymorphism, which is also called static binding. They will ask you sometime this question: what is static binding? So this is called a compile time polymorphism, and this is runtime polymorphism, which is basically dynamic binding. Now I'll give you example. Don't worry about this. Dynamic binding. Binding means finding where what I need to use. Remember, what do you mean by binding? Binding means where I need to use what. Example for binding, for the same example, suppose for binding, remember a plus b is called addition. Here I am binding. Binding is addition. Whereas same thing, xyz plus abc, here I am binding as concatenation. Getting my point? What is binding here? Concatenation. So compiler understand what I need to do. I don't want to do addition here. I want to perform only concatenation here. So from here they will understand what they want to do. Remember. So this is one type of binding. Okay. So here they will understand. So when you execute the code, they will try to find out the type, left hand side and right hand side, which is called operand. These are called operand. Left hand, right hand side called operands. These operands will help us to generate a new value through operator. So there are two things. Suppose I'm writing 10 plus 20 and equal to C equal to 10 plus 20, or maybe B, and B is equal to 20, suppose. So what do we mean by these things? Here B, comma 20, comma C, comma 10, comma this B, these all are called operand. Remember, operand, which help operator to generate a new value. And what is operator here? Equal to plus is an operator here. Remember, these are called operators. Operators. Now, what we need to know about things. So here, basically in binding, it will, when you write a code like this, double quotation and then double quotation, and in between you write plus. So computer understands and Python understands what I need to do. I no need to perform addition because both side is a string. I need to perform concatenation part, so they will understand and they will do it. So this type of binding, when you run the code, compile the code, that time it will automatically understand. So this type of binding is called compile time binding. Remember, compile time binding, which is static binding. If you return, which will not change, it is called static binding. Okay, this is called static binding. This is static. Why it is static? Because this will help us to when you compile the program, that time it will automatically understand. Now another example is what called one concept we have in compile time binding. Basically, what we understand at the time of compilation, it understand what I need to do. So at the time of compilation, they will understand what I need to do, addition or continuation. These things they will understand. So that is called compile time binding, which is basically, it is also known as static binding. Polymorphism means many forms. In that many forms, what we need to select, there are two ways. How we select, at the time of compilation or at the time of running. If you are running the code, at that time you take decision, that is called runtime by polymorphism. If you already written a code and if you are trying to convert that code into binary language, so that time is called compile time by polymorphism. That time it will understand whether I need to perform addition or concatenation, which is called compile time polymorphism. Okay, another example, they will ask you more question related to compile time, so that's why I'm going with this compile time polymorphism only. So one thing we need to know, which is called concept method overloading. Remember, this is also comes under method overloading, comes under compile time polymorphism. Example, I will tell you, class A, we have one class A, and in that class we define one method f1, suppose, with one argument self comma A. Okay, I return some arguments and I just display value of A. Consider like this. Now in another class, this is not same class, another class, but inherited with A. Now remember, this class also can call f1, remember, and if I'm writing here f1 again, that means I'm calling for compile time polymorphism, and which is called method overloading, B comma C. So what in by mean by these things? So here f1 I'm passing, and here I'm passing B plus C, or maybe X, and X is value of X is B plus C. So remember, this is called method overloading. In that, what we do, we write same function name, the name of function is same, but the parameter is different. ABC, A and BC. Here we have only one argument, whereas here we have two arguments. Self will not count. So we have one argument here, here we have two arguments. So when I try to call a method through B object, I'm trying to call a method f1, B f1, and then if I pass 10, so what do we mean by these things? What it will call, which method it will call? Guys, help me. Jagdish.
It will call F1 BA.
Which, see, I'm passing one value only. So AF1 or BF1. AF1, this is AF1 or BF1.
It will call class B1.
No. Why? Because I'm writing B dot F1. Okay, I'm agree with this. You are telling me like this. But if you see here, we have B comma C, two arguments. But here I'm passing only one argument. So it is inherited with class A. So remember, when I write like this, it will call this A. One argument we have here, right? And this also contain F1 for method. So if you have one argument and you are passing one argument, then it will understand you need to call this block AF1, not BF1. And here, if I am writing BF1 and then I'll pass 2 comma 3, now you tell me
Oh, now because we are
AF1
passing
or
to a
BF1?
B.
BF1, right? Yes. This one it will call, and indirectly we are calling F1 also, means AF1 also. So here, what happened? Control cursor will jump from here, and it will take this value 2 comma 3, and it will pass it to B comma C respectively, and then it will calculate this both value. Again, it will control cursor will jump from here to here, and it will execute this whole thing. Getting my point? Any question? Any doubt here?
Oh, no.
So where we use in real time, you are adding multiple experience. So they will ask you one type of question where you will use this type of polymorphism in real time scenario. So suppose I want to draw anything. I want to draw anything. For that, I'll create a class for draw, and I'll write some code here. Now again, I will write draw, and this time I will draw triangle. Bracket open and draw. So I'll write here code. Now another class rectangle and draw and some code. So see here, draw is one main class which is called base class, like a parent or father, and they have two children, triangle and rectangle, or it can have circle also. So this class can inherit with multiple classes. So remember, whatever you written here, F1, F2, how many functions you written here, F1, F2, F5, or any functions. So that much functions you can access here or here, directly or indirectly. You can access anywhere. Okay. This is the main thing we need to know. So this is called polymorphism. Remember, we need to know about this thing because it is asking in interview many times. You people also need to prepare about interview related to Python. And after this sessions, we will move through the project, and which is totally real time. I'm planning to go with the real time project, and that time I'm planning to go with individual project from Jagdish, from Jayesh, from others also. Individual project I'm accepting. If we not get the chance, then we will move to combined project, means batch wise project, means both together will make one project, and then we can continue it. So Jagdish, can you tell me in which area you can make a project, you want to make a project? So based on that, I will try to prepare the documentation and some requirements.
Probably database side or mainframe side, like data extraction kind of stuff,
Okay,
reading
so
data,
we'll do
database, connecting
one
database, and
thing.
all those.
Yes, yes. So we'll do one thing for you, Jagdish, and Jayesh, you also participate. So in this project, so there are two types of query language. Query language, there are two types: SQL and NoSQL. So we will go with both. We'll take here MySQL database. For you, I'll take MySQL database here, and here SQLite. I'll take SQLite, which is good for both. Okay, so you can
Yeah.
add in, mention in it. So we will do one thing here. We will create database schema, and you need to learn a little bit of normalization. If you don't know, you should know about this normalization schema design. We need to design some schema, and then I'll show you how to communicate in database and your application. So we'll do one thing. I'll try to give some tasks to you also individually. So I'll give you tasks related to the database, and in which you need to create a normalization based schema. You take target, we will go with database, and in database we need to create a normalization and schema design. So do one thing. Jayesh is there. Hello, Jayesh. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, Jagdish. Sorry,
Yeah,
Jagdish.
yeah.
So
I'm
do
in.
one thing. You can both guys can make together this project, and I'll share your number to Mr. Jayesh. So he
Okay,
is from India, Pune. So both together make this project because he has full time now. Jayesh has full
okay,
time. We'll plan to make one project with a database connectivity, and if you guys are very really interested in this, I'm really help you to. I'm really exciting to go with in detail about this area because I'm also interested in this area. So we'll do one thing. I will create a database. You just give him some instruction. You are doing work, right, Jagdish?
yeah, that's correct.
Ha ha. So you just give him the architecture
Okay,
as per your requirement, and you just give him design. You can say schema. You can give him
okay,
a schema or architecture blueprint. You can say, and based
yeah,
on that, he will create complete thing, and he will generate a script. Okay, from that
okay,
script, we will create one server, virtual server. We will take one server. In that, we will store Python. We will install Python and MySQL and all things. Okay,
okay,
and then we will connect together with these things. Okay, so here
okay,
both you should be available. Here both should be available, and here Jagdish work is start here, and here scripting part will do Jayesh. Through Jayesh he will do it. Okay,
okay,
two things will do. If we completed these things, I have another scenario. Like I'm planning to go with more detail. I'll not tell you now, but I'm planning to go with this SQLite and Cassandra, MongoDB. How much you want? I'll give you that much of data and
okay,
connectivities, and I'll show you each and everything. Okay. So
okay,
recently, I worked with Splunk database architecture also. So in that we did some operations also. Just I want to share you these things also. If you try to finish these things, then only it is possible to go with another project. Okay.
okay, sure.
So I'll share your number to Jayesh. So
Okay,
he will contact you. You just
yeah,
share him the architecture. Based on
okay,
that, he will create it, and then he will give you a script.
okay, sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then in one session, I will do one thing. In one session, I'll show you how to connect with server Python and MySQL, and you
okay,
can carry on in your project. So it would be good for you. I'll not
okay,
show you your project how to do it. I'll show you some example. 2 plus 2. You need to do 3 plus 5. Some another parameters. Okay,
okay,
like that you need. So we will see tomorrow about this stuff because this also require. Remember, this also require object-oriented programming. If you know this object-oriented programming, you can do it by yourself, and this is very interesting. And we'll see tomorrow, same time, and that time I will show you how to connect Python with MySQL. Okay,
okay,
so it would be good for you. Meanwhile, you try to prepare these things, and individually you can contact me about this schema and architecture if you have any issue with scripting, anything. Okay.
okay, sure.
Okay. So we'll
Okay,
meet sharp 8 o'clock tomorrow
sure.
AMIS. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
हाँ